name, Dr. Richard Kimball. The destination, Death Row State Prison. The irony, Richard Kimball is innocent. Proved guilty, what Richard Kimball could not prove was that moments before discovering his murdered wife's body, he saw a one-armed man running from the vicinity of his home. Richard Kimball ponders his fate as he looks at the world for the last time and sees only darkness. But in that darkness, fate moves its huge hand.
The Fugitive. A QM production, starring David Jansen as the Fugitive, with guest stars Eileen Heckert, Albert Salmi, Ruta Lee. Tonight's episode, Angels Travel on Lonely Roads.
Richard Kimball, alias Nick Walker, had called it a car looking for a quiet place to die. But this ancient vehicle, held together by faith and rusty wire, has come halfway across the mountains, carrying two fugitives. Sister Veronica, a fugitive from God, on her way to Sacramento to renounce her vows. And Richard Kimball, fugitive from injustice, now wearing the name Nick Walker, borrowed from a wallet which he had found in Lincoln City. Two fugitives, moving through a dragnet that straddles two states, one unaware that the other is the object of the intensive manhunt.
Little sunshine for the stomach, Lucy.
Hey, Clee. Up down the old pass road.
First of the fishermen, I'd say. Who else be crazy enough to come up the high pass this time of year?
Hey, what do you say we have a little fun with him?
Is something wrong, Mr. Walker? Motorcycles. Have we been speeding?
No, sister, we haven't done anything wrong. They're just a couple of kids out for a ride. You all right?
I think so.
That junk keep like to stood up in its hind legs.
That was... Come back just to say hello?
Just what kind of rock did you two crawl out from under?
What is it about you city folks, mister? You just got no sense of humor at all. And I'll assume you don't like to get talked to the way you just did. I guess there's just no way to be friendly to people like you.
A nice little highway rumble. Is that it, boys? Well, that is the language, isn't it? A rumble, roll the squares. The expressions never change, only the faces. Two great big boys bullying their way through life. And with all the noise, as far as life is concerned, you haven't even made a ripple. All you really are is afraid. Yes, afraid of life and its people. You're so afraid that when you swallow, a person can hear the click in your throat. You two and your kind are just a great big boil on the side of humanity that needs a lens. And if you spent 2 weeks in my school, I'd be the one to give it to you. Now you get on those overgrown bicycles and get yourselves out of here. Mr. Walker, I'm sorry you had to witness that display. One of my greatest weaknesses has always been a sinful temper.
You're a fraud, sister.
What?
You said you were going to renounce your vows because you couldn't communicate with people. You couldn't get through to them. Well, those two sure got the message.
Tim Craig, Lieutenant, Lincoln City Police. Yep, I've heard all about you. I guess every law officer within 500 miles of Lincoln City has heard about Tim Craig. The old style, no crook's ever gonna get the best of me kind of cop. Okay, so I admire your tenacity. But Kimball sneaked out of your beat, and it looks like he's in my yard now. Andy?
I came here to offer my services. I think I'm beginning to know how he moves, how he thinks. I thought I might be able to help. Does that shake you so much, Sheriff?
All right. Stick around if you like. But it's a lot of mountain. And it's spiderwebbed with roads, summer cabins, lodges, pack stations. Besides, what makes you so sure he's in my area?
This pass is away from the other passes. It's also the hardest to cross. Everybody figures Kimball to concentrate on speed. Only that's what he's expecting them to think.
You seem pretty sure he's a bright boy.
I'm sure. Only he's got more than brains riding with him. Luck, maybe. Something. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gotten as far as this.
Sister, I can fix a flat tire, I can blow out a gas line, but I don't have any answers for a ruptured fuel pump. Well, at least it decided to break down somewhere near civilization, so I guess I'll just walk down the hill, see what I can do, huh? Hey, sister, you know, getting a fuel pump without any money is going to be quite a trick, so we need all the help we can get. How about some of that old optimism of yours? Huh?
Mr. Walker,
Yes, sister.
why don't we just coast down the hill?
Yeah, very good idea, sister.
Ladies, just read them and weep. You know, now that I'm leaving this crummy mountain, I finally found something I'm gonna miss. My personal pigeons. Come on, let's raise the ante. Get rid of the boys in the game. Well, well. Like old home week, huh, Walker?
One of you fellas own that gas station out there?
Me.
I need a fuel pump, Model B V8.
Oh, sure. But first, let me introduce you to my friends here. This is the only guy I ever knew that grew wings. I mean, not only is he driving one of those sisters over the mountain, but he is just bubbling over with angel's milk.
Look, Mathis.
See, I met him down at the pack station when me and little Sherry Talman were doing a little funning around, and in he comes just like Gabriel, like a 3-alarm fire. You realize that now Sherry Talman will never know what it's like to say goodbye to Chuck Mathis before he goes to San Francisco. Aren't you ashamed of yourself?
Yeah, very. How about the fuel pump?
Oh, yeah, the fuel pump. You know, you'd think a do-gooder like you would have some kind of special protection against the troubles us ordinary human beings have. Hey, since you're traveling with that lady in black, let's see. Yeah. It's reconditioned, but it ought to do.
That's fine. How much?
Seeing it's you, Walker, $25.
You can buy them anywhere for half that price.
And buy it there.
Yeah. It's worth at least 50.
Well, I'll tell you, Walker. Here it's worth 10. That leaves you owing a balance of 15.
Forget the pump. Just sell me $10 worth of chips in that game.
Okay, Pigeon. Open 5.
I'll call. Cards?
3.
Dealer takes 1.
Open the bets 5.
You're 5. 5 more.
You're bluffing. You didn't hit no full house.
Call or fold your cards.
Call. Three kings.
Straight to the 8.
I tell you, Walker, none. I can spot a card shark a mile away with his skin burned off. Every time you deal, you win. That's a little too pat for me, Walker.
Cash me in.
Oh, did you hear that? Why, the menace just seeps out of him like smoke. I tell you the truth, Walker. Every time I see you, I want to look for a place to hide.
Now, I had $36 in front of me before you knocked that table over. I want my watch, a fuel pump, and my dollar in change.
All right, right there. What you're gonna get is a soak in the cooler. Sheriff don't like strangers coming in here, busting up the place.
Put down the phone.
Janet, this card shark come in, he stacked the guest.
Yeah, I heard you way out in the kitchen. Let's face it, Chuck, nobody has to stack the deck against you. You were born a loser.
Janet, I'm telling you.
Look, you told me you were leaving tomorrow to take on the big city, so why don't you put the toy away and go pack? And while you're at it, pick up those books. I'm sorry. When your family's thin, even a brother-in-law like that qualifies as a relative. I guess you could press charges, but I'd appreciate it if you didn't.
No, I don't want to do that. All I want is my watch and that fuel pump and $1 and change.
This, important to you?
Well, it has to do with Gresham's law of economics. When good money is scarce, it's always in demand.
Where are you heading?
As far as that'll take me.
Well, my name is Janet Loring. With Chuck going, I can use some help around here getting the place ready for the season. I'll buy 12 hours of your time, Mr.
Walker, Nick Walker.
12 hours of your time, Mr. Nick Walker, and you get lodging, tank full of gas, and a $10 stretch of your trip.
Beats playing poker with your brother-in-law.
Ain't that beginning to get on your nerves, sister?
Oh, no, I find it most interesting. I've had little occasion to watch the television, but it can be confusing. Mr. Mathis, maybe you could help me. I have difficulty in telling the good guys from the bad guys. Now, obviously, the policemen are supposed to be the good guys, but here they are shooting at the men who are only suspected of heisting the payroll.
Why don't you ask Walker? He seems to get around pretty good.
Oh, I'm quite sure he does.
Well, don't you know?
Why would I know anything about Mr. Walker?
I thought he worked for your church.
Oh, no. I met him outside of Lincoln City. He needed a ride, and I needed his help.
Lincoln City?
That's right. The suspects were the bad guys. Look, the big one is holding up the payroll sack.
The main body of the European Common Market is to hold their initial meeting in Paris on Monday. And now for the local news.
Why don't you take a break?
Okay.
Cigarette?
Yeah, thank you. What's the matter?
Nothing. I was just thinking. I thought I'd had them all up here. Honeymooners, boozers, dime store Lotharios. But now you and the sister, well, that just finishes the book.
Well, I needed a ride. She needed a driver. That explains me. And there's nothing really strange about her now.
Ever notice the way she looks at you? Like you were the greatest thing since lace shoes. Oh, now, you don't have to get shy on me. She could do a lot worse. A lot of strength and confidence radiating out of that face of yours.
Don't let it fool you, Janet.
Nick, seeing as how introductions are going around, don't you want to run down on me?
I've got it. Janet Loring. Mrs. Janet Loring.
The Mrs. standing for widow. My husband died a couple of years ago. He had a small ad agency down in L.A., but he always dreamed of having a place in the mountains. Worked for nothing else night and day. And he finally got it. All it cost him was his life.
It's a nice place.
Thanks. Now, how about your biography? Make one up if you like. It'll help kill the sound of the crickets.
I'd better just stick with the wood.
Nick, why don't you stay around a while? I mean, with Chuck's leaving, I could use the help, and I'm sure you could use the cash. Well, all right, I could use the company, too. How about it? 2 weeks with time and a half for good behavior.
I'll let you know in the morning.
And while his appearance was described as more youthful now, the transient was certain it was the wanted murderer whom he had talked with yesterday at about 2 p.m. in the Ravenna freight yards. Kimball's escape from Lincoln City was considered by Police Lieutenant Craig to be
Have enough of the good guys and the bad guys, sister?
Yes, Mr. Mathis. Quite enough.
I should have learned by now. The people you trust most are the first to let you down. First, you tell the sister I've got a standing order for a box of milk chocolates each week. Then she'll tell whoever she knows. Pretty soon, well, what's going to happen to my reputation as the toughest sheriff on the mountain, huh?
Excuse me. Hello? Oh, yes, just a moment, please. Sheriff, it's for you.
Sheriff Morris. Yeah. Sure, Jack, but I'll have to round up the driver. You bet, right away. That was Sheriff Anderson on the Lark County side. He's got himself a wreck and he needs our heavy tow truck. Well, I better get going and round up the driver. Well, it was nice meeting you, Sister Veronica.
Thank you.
Remember, Janet, you see anybody suspicious at all, you get on that phone and call me loud and clear. Man murders his wife, he's capable of anything. That goes for you too, sister. When you start your trip again, don't stop to pick up any strangers.
Sheriff. You forgot your chocolates.
Thank you.
Hi, Lieutenant. Hey, the word's out you sure been getting around. Where you been this morning?
Had a suspect over at Jackson Springs. Another dud. Highway Patrol's setting up a roadblock down in the South Canyon Road. I'm taking a run over there. Want to come along?
Got other things to do.
You check this place out?
Yeah. Nothing suspicious. And I told Mrs. Loring to keep her eyes open.
I'll check with you again.
Right.
You've been out here a long time.
Well, I had finished stacking the wood.
I mean, after you finished the wood. Any special reason?
Matter of fact, there was. I met a girl.
What?
Yeah, pretty eyes, pretty hair. Want to meet her?
Sure. Oh, Nick. Oh, she is beautiful.
Well, it was a little tired, so I gave an assist.
Oh, look at the baby. He's trying so to stay on his feet.
That's what life's all about, isn't it? Each person has to make it to his own feet and stay there.
Are we still talking about the lamb? Oh, Nick, look. Just an hour ago, the mother didn't have anything to worry about but herself. And now, isn't it funny how suddenly, how very suddenly the heart can find somebody new to worry about?
We are still talking about the lamb, aren't we?
When my husband died, I was just as good as dead, too. So I decided this was just as good a place as any to start the embalming on 80 proof. And then every once in a while, I'd think if I could just sober up, I'd be able to face life. That first cup of coffee would slam me right back into the ditch again. Still, it passed. The pain passed anyway. I think what I'm trying to say is that I don't know whether it's because I'm lonely and afraid. I don't know. All I know is I want you to stay.
Janet, you don't know anything about me.
I know the sister trusts you.
Yeah.
Nick, when I told you about my marriage, it was for a reason. In case you were worried about complications, I want you to know I've already had my trip to the stars. So, when I talk about wanting company, it could be nothing more than the handshaking kind. And, one other thing. If you want to hide out from bill collectors, there's no place better than this pine-studded mausoleum.
What's the road like up ahead?
Pretty rough, the next 20 miles.
Janet, I think I better be moving on.
Yeah, you would. Well, girl can't win them all. Your car's full of gas, and here's the $10 as agreed. Okay?
Okay.
Here, sister, let me do that for you.
That's all right, Mrs. Loring. I'm practically finished.
I'll get your bag, sister.
Need paper towels?
Thank you.
I'm sorry our visit had to be so brief.
You've been more than generous.
Well, if ever you're passing through again, please stop in. You know you're more than welcome. Oh, and be very careful on that stretch of road ahead. It's pretty tricky.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Goodbye. Have a good trip, both of you. creep. You cheap, miserable creep.
Well, you didn't think I was gonna let that hustler take me at cards, did you?
Oh, I knew saying goodbye to you wasn't going to be hard, but you've just turned this into the sweetest day of my life. Now get your things and get out of here.
Well, maybe there's something in this day for both of us.
What are you talking about?
Yes, sir, you really know how to pick 'em. Me, I'm nobody, but this man Walker, really a special kind of a man. You take a look. Doesn't that face look familiar to you?
Well, if you think this is Walker, you're wrong. He's younger and...
Yeah, you bet he's younger. Here's a driver's license issued to Nicholas Walker. Age 63. Height 5'7". Weight 190 pounds. That doesn't sound much like your friend, does it?
Chuck, wait. He can't be the man they're looking for. Don't, Chuck, please!
Get out!
No, don't!
Give me the sheriff's office.
I think you ought to cheer up, sister. The worst is over. I'll be in Sacramento by sundown. This trip wasn't such a long shot after all. I think you did have a lot going on your side.
Why the change, Mr. Walker?
Huh?
You seem to have a practical explanation for everything. There's even a practical explanation of why we got through that roadblock outside of Lincoln City. After all, who would seriously question the character of a person traveling with a nun?
Go on.
There seems to be a logical explanation for everything in this practical world, except for one thing. After we were safely through that roadblock, why did you stay with me? There was an announcement on the television last night. They showed your picture.
The sheriff came by this morning. What did you tell him?
I don't know.
Aren't you afraid to go on with me?
No.
For what it's worth, sister, I didn't have anything to do with the death of my wife.
That answers one question. And now what about the other question? Why did you stay with me? Just for the sanctuary these vestments guaranteed?
Yes, at first.
And later?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, it matters, Mr. Walker. And I think I know the reason. The realist is not quite such a realist anymore. Two people meet and because of their own particular jeopardy, give something of themselves to the other one. Why? I keep asking myself that question. Why?
Yes, sir. As soon as we get Kimball, the name of Chuck Mathers is gonna flash through these mountains like a fistful of diamonds.
Any apprehension of a criminal is the sole duty of the law, and don't you forget it. The only reason you're along is to make a positive ID on that car. If I could only get hold of Sheriff Anderson down below, maybe I could block him off.
Where is this wreck he's investigating?
Don't know exactly. Somewhere down the road. I better try again. Sheriff Morris calling Sheriff Anderson. Sheriff Morris calling Sheriff Anderson. Come in, Sheriff Anderson. Sheriff Morris calling Sheriff Anderson. Come in.
fast were you going when the brakes locked?
No luck.
What do you mean, no luck? There they are.
What is it?
Police car.
Are they after us?
I don't know.
But you have identification. You used it in Lincoln City.
That officer only got as far as my ID because of you. He takes a look at this driver's license.
What is it?
My wallet's missing.
This morning, Mr. Mathis was standing near the car. How do you expect to outrun a police car in this?
No, sister. I can get a couple of curves ahead. Maybe I can pull over the side of the road and make a run for it into the woods.
Roger. I'll check with you.
Tell the sheriff. Tell the sheriff.
Mathis, when are you going to learn to lay off the beer?
Tell the sheriff.
How are they?
The doc says they'll be okay. They ought to be coming around before long. Put out flares, but Morris was driving too fast for them to be any use. And I got a little dirty changing that tire. Want to wipe your face?
Well, that's all right, Sheriff. I'll do it later. There's your jack. Thanks very much.
Sure. Well, you better be moving along. You're blocking the road. Oh, you know, it's a good thing you had that flat. Could have been the two of you wrapped around that truck. Yes, I guess it was a piece of luck at that.
I'd say it was more like a miracle, Sheriff.
Lieutenant Gerard, I know I should have called you. But I had a feel about this one. I knew I could track him down. No. Consensus is he's off the mountain. Guess he could be anywhere by now.
Goodbye. Thank you.
For what?
Because of you, another side of me came up for air.
You really mean that, don't you?
Yes, I mean it. I think I've meant it ever since that poker game when I bet on money and drew to an inside straight and made it. It's quite impressive for a realist.
Come to think of it, we did draw some unusual hands the last couple of days.
Never seen anything like him. A gambler would take that to mean he was to go on playing the game.
I shall pray for you.
Sister,
I'm going to visit Father Carrigan and then return to the convent.
I'm glad. I don't imagine Father Kerrigan's going to be too happy about you having crossed the mountains in that old car with a stranger.
Why not? Both the car and the stranger came highly recommended.
Two fugitives, one having found a resting place, the other continuing to step off his inches on the scale of life. For him, the future will be no less precarious, but somehow he won't feel quite so alone.